Afternoon, everybody. I hope you're well today. I thought I would do a quick show because there's been loads and loads of updates, and also a couple of youngsters have arrived at the club. Wanted to talk a little bit about some of the transfer rumours that have resurfaced. Also, cover a couple of things around what Fabrizio Romano's come out with. Also, a couple of articles in the newspapers. Talk about Salah, talk about Trent, talk about Diaz, talk about Alexis Mac Allister, talk about some interesting things that have been revealed around a couple of players that we're now looking at for the summer. Also, some interesting stuff that Dominic Szoboszlai's dad's come out with. Yeah, and Trent leaving Manchester United's ground as well. Some things that he said to some of the fans. Couple of interesting things to talk about. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. If you do want any questions answering, just pop me a super chat. I'm monetized now, so it'd be good to get some support because using the overlay software is quite expensive. And also the video software is quite expensive. And if you haven't checked out my video from yesterday that I did with Cal from Coppish, it's quite a long one. It's an hour and 40 minutes, but we went into a deep dive about Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent, how we'd cope without them. Also gave them some real flowers for a good 30, 40 minutes. Yeah, check that out. It's got nearly 1,000 views now. It's going to end up probably being one of my best videos. Definitely jump on and have a look at that if you want to do something after this. And let's crack on. So first of all, I wanted to just cover the some of the things that we've done internationally. Just give you some numbers on Alexis Mac Allister. He played last night for Argentina. They won 2-0. He was absolutely sensational. There was a lot of rumours saying that he wasn't even going to play because he was potentially had a niggle, but it came out that he was okay. He had a really good game. Played for 79 minutes, scored a goal, 35 out of 40 passes, 8 passes in the final third, 2 out of 3 long balls, 2 interceptions, 6 recoveries, 1 clearance. Played brilliantly. Pretty much won them the match, to be honest. They were winning 1-0, and then obviously he came off in the 79th minute, and then someone came on in like the 83rd and scored, I think, the second goal. He's been sensational. He's just been such a good signing. Like £35 million. What a signing that was. Absolutely terrific. And if you look at the likes of the guy that was next to him at Brighton, who they sold for 116 million in the end, I think he cost. He's just so much better. Like, he was just such a better signing in my eyes. Absolutely terrific player. Anyway, he's ripping it up again for Argentina, who haven't got Messi in the team. So that little bit on Mac Allister. I also just do a couple of shout outs. A big up Amanim, big up Neil, afternoon John, afternoon Mcock, afternoon Alexander. Not many people on right now, only 15 of yous. Bit of a slow one this afternoon, maybe. Who knows? Only 15 people. That's really slow. Okay, so quick update on a couple of things. So Zubimendi has broken his silence on his decision to reject Liverpool. So he came out and he actually had a phone call with Richard Hughes and explained the situation. So basically, it's come out that he turned us down because he wanted his club to be able to sign a replacement, and they weren't given time to sign a replacement because they obviously lost quite a few players. So it looks like there still might be an opportunity for us to come in for him again, and it would make a lot of sense because we haven't gone for anybody. So we haven't gone for anybody in that position, and we've also kept Tyler Morton at the club as well, which means we've given ourselves some in the support area, which makes me think that we could pull the trigger on that in January if we needed to, and that's giving his club another 6 months to maybe get another person in, to get another body in to replace him, and maybe that's the reason why it took a long time for Arsenal to sign Moreno, and he's injured now, probably till the end of the year with a fractured shoulder. So I think that's an interesting one that will probably develop. But apparently he called Richard Hughes and spoke to him directly about the transfer, and it wasn't his family that persuaded him to stay. It was the club. So that's an interesting one that I think will develop. Why is there nobody on this show? Like, I've got 15, 13 viewers now. Like, what's happening? Like, is there something on YouTube I don't know about that everybody else is watching? Like, I'm really confused. Yeah, I'm really confused why there's nobody on this. Well, what's happened here? What's happened here? Let me get rid of that. Okay. Right. Also wanted to cover an update on. Yeah, this is in the Mirror. I'm just going to close that tab, and also the Mac Allister tab. I'm really sorry, my computer is struggling to open these pages. I don't know why. It's really, really slow. Okay. So got an update on Trent. Was it here? Okay, clip on social media. What the hell is going on? Sorry, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why it's. Okay. I don't know why it's stuck. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I'm having issues with my machine. Apologies. Okay. So apparently in the mix or when he was leaving, the fans asked him about his goal, about his goal being disallowed, and he came back and said, "Don't worry, I'll come back next year and score again." You don't say that if you're leaving the club. Like, like you don't come out and say stuff like that if you're that's a weird one for me from Trent. Like he's given real mixed signals. There's also been a lot of talk about Liverpool not being happy with his representatives. Um, I'm going to bring up I'm just going to bring up my face now and talk for a bit because I'm having issues bringing up the pages. So it's actually there's been some stuff that's come out, rumours that have come out that Liverpool aren't happy with his representatives, because what you have to think about is with Trent, his previous agent he was with for a long time, and we had 2 contracts that had been done with this agent, and he got rid of his agent. I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, and replaced him with a member of his family. So his family are controlling his own destiny, basically, which is something which Jude has done, something which Haaland's done, something which like Mbappe and Rabiot, and there's loads and loads of players that have done this, where they've got their own family to be their representatives. The only issue is their demands are quite high. Like Liverpool find their demands quite insane in what they're expecting from Liverpool for Trent. So that's probably why it's taken more time, because the demands are a bit ridiculous. Like you can't be asking for 500,000. Like you're on 180,000 now. Like you can't be asking for like double wage, more than double your wages. Like that's just insane. Like that just doesn't make any sense. Like you have to be a lot more reasonable. And using the old agent was what Liverpool liked. Liverpool also do like working with agents and not with direct families. Um, this is something that we've been really good with, because if you look at the amount of agent fees that we paid in the past, we pay a lot in agent fees because the agents get a lot done with the players. And it's probably why we end up getting players on reasonable contracts, on contracts that aren't going to break wage structures, because we use the agents, and the agents are more, I don't know, more persuasive with their clients. You know, maybe look for their clients to sign these contracts more because they're going to get good fees as agents. I don't know, but apparently the reason why it's taking so much time is because Trent's representatives, who are his family, are asking for ridiculous demands. That's the rumor. Okay, that's just the rumors that have been mentioned. Yeah, you're right. It is a bit. It is a bit crazy. That is some of the numbers that have been muted, which is just insane. Like it just is. Like, um, I don't disagree. I've actually got an article that I wanted to talk about Rodrigo, because rumors are we offered 103 million last window for Rodrigo. this was the package we put in front of Real Madrid. 103 million. This was from a reputable source in Spain, and they turned us down and said they wanted 136 million for him to even contemplate, and that was upfront. That was no fees or payment structure. That was literally a flat 136 million. We offered 103, which I think's a fair amount. Like, let's be honest, it's a fair amount. Real Madrid aren't selling players. Like, they're just not selling players for huge fees. That's not what Real Madrid do. So I think that's an interesting one. There's also an interesting piece that's come up about Real Madrid looking at renewing the contract for their current right back, who's just won the Euros, and I can't remember his name. If you can put it in the chat, I'd appreciate it. Which means that maybe Trent isn't their number one target now, because they've still got the Spanish right back, who's incredible and just won the Euros. He's only 32, and they've also got the French lad as well. Yeah, Carvajal. Yeah, so he's in contract renewals. They've also got Lucas as well. Yeah, or Carvajal. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I mean, to be honest, I mean, I spoke to Cal about this yesterday. We talked about how we deal with those three players, and we actually said that the one which we could live without is Trent. Like, if any of them were going to leave, the Trent player leaving is the one that wouldn't hit us the most. And the reason why we said it is because if you just look at his numbers, he got like 4 assists last season. He got like 7 the year before. Like, his numbers are dropping. Like his numbers in total are dropping for assists and goals in the last like couple of years. So we've managed to live without that side of his game, even though you would think they would increase because he's more involved in the game, because he plays in midfield more. But that's just not the case. However, on the flip side, you know, he could have scored and got an assist like on Sunday, which means that he would have been on a goal and an assist already this season, and we've only played 3 games. So for me, that looks a bit like we might be getting the best out of him again, like, coming into this season with Slot. And also the interesting thing with it as well is, if we do want to challenge this year, and say we are in a position in January where we're top of the table, you know, a couple of points clear going into the next year, top of the league, for that challenge, you probably are going to play Trent, even if he does decide he's leaving. Like, you're still going to play him, because you're not going to want to take him out of the team when we're doing so well. So that's an interesting dynamic that we need to look at. But as I said, his family are demanding quite crazy wages. But he did say to some of the fans as he left Old Trafford, "Don't worry, I'll be back next year to score," because he didn't score because it was disallowed. So let's see what happens there. So Fabrizio Romano has said there's many things to discuss before the Salah contract extension. So what he said, I quote, is, "At this point between Salah and Liverpool, it is possible for Salah to go as a free agent this summer, but it's not guaranteed at all, because Liverpool want to talk to Mo Salah and Salah wants to talk to Liverpool. Salah is very keen on discussing things with Liverpool about the new project. He is very happy with Arne Slot, the directors and new management. So the discussions will take place. Let's see financially, in terms of project, in terms of the length of contract, there are many things to discuss. And I'm going to put my neck on the block here, and I'm actually going to say that Mo signs a 2-year deal with a 1-year extension, and I think he reduces his wages to 300,000. I know that's a bit crazy because people think that he would increase his wages, but I actually think he's going to reduce his wages to 300,000 and do another 2 years with a 1-year extension. That's the sneaky feeling that I have. With Mo, it's not about the money. It's just not about the money. And I think we're going to level out. And I think we're going to level out all 3 players on £300,000 a week contracts. So we're going to level out Virgil, we're going to level out Mo, and we're going to level out Trent, all on 300,000. And I think that's the way it's going to stay. I don't think we're going to break any wage structure. I don't think we're going to increase wages beyond 300,000, maybe 350 for all 3. But I just don't see us going any higher than 350,000. I just don't see it. Mo's not in it for the money. Mo's just not in it for the money. He's in it for the records. He just is. Like, you just listen to him in that Manchester United interview with Sky Sports. He's talking about, like, he sounded upset that he wouldn't be able to play again at Old Trafford. Like, the guy scored more goals than he scored more goals than, like, with the likes of Martial, Garnacho, Højlund. Like, he scored more goals than than players that played for Manchester United for years at Old Trafford since 2021. Like, his records are insane. He scored 15 goals against Manchester United in all competitions, in case you didn't know. Like I just don't think he wants to move away from what he's got. He's got a couple of kids that they all speak Scouse. Like, why would he leave? Like, why would he want to leave what he's got? Like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it at all. I just do not see it. Like, and same with Virgil van Dijk. Like, both of them are calm. Both of them are happy. Both of them have never said a word about they want to leave. None of them have been linked with anybody with real substance. Liverpool have not mentioned that we're going to sell anyone. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's even in the conversation. I just feel that we had to get those transfers out of the way. We had to get players out of the club. We've now got a settled manager. Maybe it was always going to be part of the plan that the first international break, once all the windows are closed. Remember, Turkey's still open. Turkey have just signed Victor Osimhen. Turkey teams are looking at a couple of Manchester United players. Like, there's definitely players that are still moving. Saudi Arabia's still not closed. Like, maybe we're waiting for all these windows to shut, and then we're going to sit down and have contract discussions, because there's still time. There's still time. They can't talk to any clubs until January, so we can thrash out a couple of meetings before then and get these 3 done. Trent's the one that worries me because his family are now managing him, and we know how that goes. Like, look at Haaland, look at Jude Bellingham. They all moved. They all moved to big clubs. They all moved from big clubs, and their families got a huge amount of money out of it. Like it was life-changing money. Like Haaland's dad got like 20 million. Like Jude Bellingham's dad got 10 million, and his mum got 10 million. Like huge amounts of money to change lives. And that's going straight into the family. That's not going to like an agent, because they are their agents. So I do see that as an issue. Virgil's managed by somebody, Mo's managed by somebody, and Mo's agent has come out with nothing, and Virgil's agents come out with nothing. So I see those two just sitting down, putting a contract in front of them and saying 2 years with a year extension. How are we looking? Yeah, good. Okay, let's get that done. That's what I see. I'll do a couple more shout outs for people. I just want to let you know as well that if you want to send me a super chat, please do. I can now receive super chats, so that would be amazing. A couple of new people I've not seen before. Polo Mint, afternoon. Antonio, afternoon. Afternoon, Colin. Afternoon, Colin. Couple of Collins. Afternoon, TW74. Afternoon, Carmino. Afternoon, Sideline. Hope you're well, mate. Afternoon, Register. And afternoon, Jamie. Hope you are well. I am good, thanks. Couple more things I wanted to talk about. That's the Mo Salah thing, so I'm not going to go on that. Another one I wanted to bring up was an interesting one. So according to Fichales, which is a Spanish outlet, apparently we are interested in 18-year-old Palmeiras central defender called Vitor Riaz. And I'll just show you who he is. He's an 18-year-old central defender who plays for Palmeiras. Nobody's mentioned this guy before, so I thought this one was interesting. Where is he? Where is it? I can't find that page. I've also got a hilarious comment from Jadon Sancho, which you're going to find funny. I don't know where it is. Okay, let me just share this. I'm having issues with my PC. Mac with my iMac. Okay, so I'm just going to share this screen. We're linked with, or there's been an article in a Spanish. Oh, I don't know why it's got an advertisement when it hasn't on the actual page. Anyway, there he is there. So that's him there. The transfer news is 106 million star. that's about Rodrigo. So we offered 103 million for him in the last window, but it was rejected. Yeah, I know that's a worry for me, John. It is a worry for me that that it's the money with Trent. Like it's the money. It's not about anything else. But it also worries me because it could be about his family wanting money. Like they want a payday, if you know what I mean. Big up Russell. That's the worry for me. So apparently we're linked with this kid, 18-year-old Vitor Riaz from Palmeiras. I thought I'd mention that one. I thought I'd mention this as well, which was absolutely hilarious if you didn't know. So in an interview, I don't know what is going on with my machine. So slow. In an interview, Jadon Sancho said that the reason why he chose Chelsea is because of Enzo Mascara. Is it Mascara or Mascaria? Enzo Maresca, who's the manager of Chelsea. Basically said that he loved working with him at Manchester City. He was a great coach, and that's why he chose Chelsea. But it's now come out that when Jadon Sancho was at Man City, Maresca wasn't even there. Like, so he lied. He basically lied. Like he said he worked with him when he didn't. He didn't work with him at Man City. Like the guy wasn't even at Man City in 2017. He was in Spain still. So Jadon Sancho is basically talking out of his backside, and he's been caught out. I think that's crazy. Like I genuinely think that is crazy. He spoke to me on the phone about the project that he was building here, and for a young player like myself, I'm excited. I can't wait. However, there is a small issue with Sancho's version of events. The winger left City in 2017 in an 8 million deal to Borussia Dortmund when he was just 17. It wasn't actually until September 2020 that Maresca was hired at the club. 3 years later, meaning Sancho couldn't have met the Italian because he was in Germany and Maresca was employed by Seville. Like, honestly, like what an idiot. Like, this guy is an absolute joke. Like, that's just a blatant lie. Like, 3 years later, he was at City. Like, there are so many players that are just associated with Manchester United that they just make me sick. Like, they just make me sick. So many of them. They're all scum. It's just, honestly, like, you just don't know what you're going to get. Like, it's honestly, it's such a mixed bag. Like, there are so many of them. Like Bruno Fernandes is just horrible. Like, he's just a horrible individual. Like, Garnacho just seems like a horrible person. Like, Maguire is horrible. Like, Anana seems like a nasty person. Like, Mason Mount seems like a real ass. Like, there are so many of them that have got such rotten attitudes. Like, and I haven't even mentioned Anthony. Like, the guy probably shouldn't be. Like, should probably be in a cell, allegedly. Like, honestly, you're not wrong. You are absolutely not wrong on that. Like, 100%. I would have thought that they are living very well off the back of Trent. It is interesting, but to get a payday like that, if they persuade him to go on a free next year, is a huge amount of money. Like, and if they persuade him to go on a free, then they might force our hand in selling him. I just find that interesting, like, and concerning at the same time, basically. So I'm also going to bring up a couple more scummy people from Manchester United, including this one. So Rio's claimed that the strategic positioning of Mo Salah and Luis Diaz during their goals against Manchester United allowed them to cheat. Like, honestly, like, can these people just go away now? Like, you've had your glory under Fergie. Like, you weren't a great player. Like, you just had a great manager. Like, as simple as that. Like, you're not one of the greatest defenders of all time. You're not going to be in that list. I'm sorry. Like, I genuinely don't like you. I don't like the stuff that comes out your mouth. Like, you know, but like saying that Mo Salah and Luis Diaz cheated to score goals is just pathetic. Like, why don't you criticize your team? You know, that is something that I really do respect about Paul Scholes. Like, I hated him as a player because he always scored the winners at Anfield, and I watched that happen over and over. But Paul Scholes is honest. Like, he's genuinely honest about Manchester United, and also Roy Keane. Like, they're genuinely honest about them, and they just sit there and go, "Yeah, we're not good enough. Like, yeah, that's not been done. Like, they haven't done this. This hasn't been done. We need to improve here." Like I respect them because of that, and some of the other players as well. By the way, not the usual lot though. Not Ferdinand and not Neville and not them lot. Not Hargreaves, not Owen. And I'll throw Michael Owen into that bloody equation because he does it as well. Schmeichel as well. Peter Schmeichel is really honest as well. I totally agree. Like, he's really honest as well. But yeah, they just won't let go. They just will not let go of what they had. I also wanted to bring up the Dominic Szoboszlai news that came up. Basically, it came out that so his dad has said that that there was another Premier League club that had offered, that he had another offer on the table from another Premier League club before he chose Liverpool. I believe the other Premier League club was Arsenal, but I haven't got confirmation on that. It might be in here. Is it in here? We talked about a move to England together. There was an Italian team and another English team, but we decided on Liverpool, a club with great history, with tradition. There was another Italian team. It was Juventus. And if you remember, and this is hilarious, by the way, if you didn't know about it, there was a transfer target list, transfer shopping list that was left on a table in a restaurant by someone from the Juventus backroom staff, and it had a list of players on it, and Dominic Szoboszlai was on that list, and all of the other players that were on that list actually either signed for Juventus or moved to other clubs, but Juventus were in the mix for all of them. So that's an interesting one. So the Italian club was actually Juventus, because his dad's just obviously said that there was an Italian club interested in him, and it was Juventus. And it's interesting as well because that list as well had players that were going out of the club, and Rabiot was there and Chiesa was on there, which is funny because they've left the club. Also, I'm going to do a couple more shout outs. Afternoon, Liverpool 67. Afternoon, Songs 4K. Ooh. Afternoon, Songs 4K. Afternoon, Pride of Merseyside. Anybody else? No, that's it. If you're new and you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. I've had a few issues with my Mac computer, so it's been a bit slow. So I haven't really been bringing up many pages because it's been struggling. So Mark Gahey has popped up again. So there are now rumours that he has a release clause at 70 million. So he is. I mean, he will go in January, I feel. I mean, I was chatting to a mate of mine who's a massive Newcastle supporter. Goes to games and stuff on WhatsApp, and he messaged me and said that that Newcastle have now lost two players with ACLs in Botman and Lascelles, so they are going to be in the market for a defender. And they were looking at Simikan, who went to Saudi Arabia. The reason why they couldn't go for Simikan is because of his wage demands. He's on like 20 million a year or something stupid, which they couldn't offer. But I think they will go back in for Gahey, and it looks like 70 million is the release clause. So that's an interesting one. I was speaking to Cal yesterday about Gahey. We were looking at like if Virgil does go, then we'd need to start bedding in a central defender after January, because Virgil plays every single game and he's never out the team. Then we'd need to start bringing someone in to start playing more, and we can only come up with about 3 players that we think that would fit in and would do a job at some level, like maybe 60% of what Virgil's capacity is like. And we talked about Bastoni, but we also talked about Bastoni being on the left as a left back that then you could bring in as a centre back, so you can get used to the system. Because Bastoni's he's gonna have to play. Like you're not gonna pay the money for Bastoni, and he's not gonna play. And we also talked about the fact that maybe the Chiesa deal was an interesting way to get an Italian teammate in, or someone who he knows. So that could be a potential. Also, we talked about, are there any other players that could do a job there? There wasn't many. Like Cal mentioned Rudiger because he's been sensational, but we're not going to be able to shift him out of Real Madrid. I mentioned Schlotterbeck, who plays for Dortmund. I think he'd be perfect. He's both-footed, very comfortable on the ball, can play brilliant diagonals, can bring the ball out of the back. Quite young, 25, German international. Tall, wins a lot of duels. That was an issue with Bastoni, doesn't win a lot of headers. Virgil van Dijk's got like a 75% win ratio in headers his whole career, which is insane. And there wasn't many more. Like, there really wasn't that many. Like, Levi Colwill was talked about because he's got loads of experience in the Premier League. He's tall. He's great on the ball. He's good at passing. He's a player that we've looked at for a long time. I think he's gettable. And there really wasn't many more. Like, that's like, that's how that's how good Virgil van Dijk is, that you can't pick many players that could come in and kind of do what he does. We talked about Inacio. There's Diamonde from Sporting, but he's right-footed. He's on the other side of the pitch. Maybe he's not that great on the ball. Inacio's great on the ball. He's left-footed. There isn't a huge amount that could play that kind of role that he does. So it's an interesting one with Gahey, but we don't think Gahey's that guy. We think he had a really good Euros. We think his level's where he's at. Maybe Newcastle's probably as high as he goes. But there you go. There's also been rumours from La Gazzetta dello Sport saying that Liverpool have looked at Rabiot. He's still available on a free transfer. He's been offered 20 million a year from a contract from Saudi Arabia. Manchester United are looking at him. And there's a number of teams that have looked at him. He's a really good player. He's going to be on about 150 grand a week plus. Juventus wanted to get a couple of big earners off their books. Chiesa and Rabiot were those players. It's an interesting one with Rabiot. I think he's brilliant. I think he had a great Euros. If you really do want to get a guy in, you can just steady Eddie in the central midfield position and not put so much pressure on Gravenberch, and then play Mac Allister a bit more advanced on the right hand side. Then I think Rabiot's your guy. Like, he's tall, athletic, never injured, played over 250 games for Juventus, has won everything apart from the Champions League. But I think he did get to the Champions League quarterfinals. Just a really good player. Like, you can't really say much about him apart from he's just solid. But he's got a bit of a nutter of a mum. We know that. Apparently, he's a Liverpool supporter. I would not know why we haven't pulled the trigger on that one, as a guy that would just come in and hit the ground running. It's interesting, but it could be one that happens. We'll see. This is one which has not gone away. Adam Wharton. So we've been linked with him again. 150,000 a week. I don't think it's ridiculous wages. I just don't. I don't think that's ridiculous wages for a guy who's a French international, over 50 caps for France. He's possibly in the top 20 of best midfielders in the world. If not in the top 15. And if you're going to come at me and say, no, he's not, then I'd love you to give me the argument why he isn't, because his credentials stack up. He's won the World Cup, he's won the Euros, he's always in the French team, he's Didier Deschamps' go-to guy. and he's 29. Like, he's only just turned 29 as well, so he's not over the edge. But for a guy that you could get in for a couple of years and then sell him to Saudi, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, if I'm honest. Anyway, it's an interesting one. Adam Morton, 20 years old. He's going to cost 60 million minimum. I mean, from what I've seen of him, I think he's brilliant. I genuinely think he's a brilliant player. This one would be a signing that wouldn't necessarily start. I don't think he'd start, but I think for the money you pay, I think he'd expect to, or you would feel the fans expect he would. Is he any better than Gravenberch right now? No, he's not. Is he worth that kind of money to not start or to compete with Gravenberch? I'm not sure. But we're linked with him again, so it's an interesting one. This one's popped up again. Liverpool look to resurrect move for Zubimendi. I'd rather have Zubimendi than Morton. I really would. So apparently we're going in for him again. I mean, these are just some of his numbers. So he's had 4 games, 1 goal this season. 31 games last season, 4 goals, 1 assist. 36 game season before, 1 goal, 3 assists. I mean, he's not a goal guy, but he's heavily involved in the play. So Liverpool have talked about we're not fearful that he's going to go anywhere else, but we're willing to bide our time and wait for the moment when he's ready to move, and we'll probably try again in the next window. So we'll see what happens. So this has come up as well, basically saying that Tyler Morton should get more opportunities, and he could be our own Zubimendi in the making. I don't know. Like, I really rate Tyler Morton, but obviously the club doesn't. We've obviously not sent him out on loan or sold him. So maybe he gets an opportunity. We'll see. I'd like to see that, if I'm honest. Another guy which is popped up again. This was in the Echo today. This is Gonzalo Agio. So he's coming to our radar again. So this is Salah for Egypt in training, just looking happy, just time of his life. Obviously, Chiesa's been in training. He decided that he was going to miss the next 2 Italian games so he could settle at Liverpool. Obviously, the Adam Morton interest has come up again. Man City are also interested in him. Also, Chiesa had the chance to go to Bayern Munich, but he didn't. Obviously, the Diaz contract. So Liverpool sources have dismissed that we're looking at getting a new contract done, but I believe that we are. And I talked to Cal about this yesterday, and it was the conversation around it's basically securing one of our assets. so he doesn't go on the cheap, because he's one of our lowest paid players, and he has a high profile role. So this obviously was in the Spanish outlet. 101 million bid rejected back in June, but I said to remain interested in him. So if anything happens with Salah, we could pull the trigger on Rodrigo, and obviously it was reported that a 51 million price tag was talked about. So that didn't materialise. I think we've got. I think there's more. I think there's more stuff here. So we'll cover this and then I'll finish up. Obviously the Diaz contracts. So Paul Gorst has said that it's wide of the mark, and he's a Liverpool correspondent. So the Rabiot stuff is in the L'Equipe. Zubimendi speaks on Liverpool's snub. Real Sociedad for me is my life. I think I've spent half my life here, he revealed to Marseille. A lot of what I am is part of La Real. It is my life. Mo Salah. Yeah, that's the stuff that came from Romano. Also, I want to bring up, we got Rio in. I find it a bit weird. If you can let me know in the chat what you understand of this. So there's a picture of him with the number 11 shirt. And there's also a picture of him in the training room, in the changing room, and the number 11 shirt is on display with his name on. Like, so could someone explain to me, has he been given the number 11 shirt? Because we haven't got a player that's got a number 11 shirt currently. I'm just going to double check. I'm literally just going to have a check. No, Mo Salah wears number 11, doesn't he? Doesn't Mo Salah wear number 11? It will be for the reserves. So is that the reserves number? Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, he hasn't been given a squad number according to this list, but this list could, I mean, he's only just been signed. So it could be old. I don't know, it's an interesting one. I mean, Jayden Danns has got 76. Ben Doak's got 50. Ben Doak's not with us anymore. He's gone on loan. James McConnell's got 53. Trey Ioni's got 98. I'm going to have a look on the Liverpool website now. This is really This has threw me off. This has threw me off. The number shirt for Mo Salah wears number 11. Federico Chiesa's got 14. And none of the others, none of the others are actually listed. The academy, have we got Rio in there now? So forwards, Jade Dans, Rio's not even in there. Nope, he's not even in. Yeah, he's not even in the academy. I'll tell you what is interesting though, Tyler Morton is still listed as an academy player. He's still not been moved into the main team. Neither's Jaden Dans or Trey Ione. Or James McConnell. Yeah, none of them have been moved into. Yeah, none of them have been moved into the first team. Anyway, so we've signed this guy, or kid, and we've also signed the Wolves player as well, Alvin Armin, I think his name is. Yeah, so I think that's an interesting one, which is great because he's a terrific player, very highly rated. Let me just have a quick look at the squad. Where's the squad? Come on. Oh, my internet is so slow. Okay. Sorry about this. My internet's just so slow today. Let me get rid of all these tabs. Okay, so just get rid of all these tabs. Okay, so our first team, even loading. Right, so this is the first team. So that's the academy. Why is Ryan Gravenberch in goal? Oh, this is well old. Oh, this is ridiculously old. Let's just leave it. Yeah, there's no point even showing that. Okay. So yeah, this is the academy. Oh, where am I gone? Okay, here I am. Okay, so he wears the 9 shirt. Okay, yeah. Okay. So it is just it is just the number for that. He's only 16. I know he's only 16, but Lamine Yamal's only 17 and he's playing international football and the start of his team. I don't know whether we brought him in to give him a number. So this is actually the academy. So I'll quickly show this. So this is our academy. So I think this is interesting because he is built like a young Rooney. You're not wrong. He looks like a hell of a player. So this is actually our academy. So we've obviously sent a lot of players out on loan. So we'll look at the players that are out on loan. Okay, so we got 1, 2. By the way, Lewis Kumas is having a brilliant loan. Owen Beck's also played really well on loan. So is Luke Chambers. So is Lucas Stevenson, scored on his debut. Kate Gordon's not played yet, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players out on loan. Not really interested in him. Looking forward to see Callum Scanlon as well play more. But the guys that we've kept, like, I rate Harvey Daves. I think he's going to be a great goalkeeper. There's been a lot of talk about Cornel Miskor, who's also a very highly rated goalkeeper. This guy is very highly rated. Also him. I mean, he played in 2 preseason games and just didn't look out of place. Like, he's a terrific player for me. I think he may well get a few appearances on the bench. He did last season. I believe he's only 17. We signed him from West Ham. Really highly rated, didn't go out on loan, which was good. Also, James Norris looks really good as well. And then you've got a couple of players in the youth team. Isaac Mabea, he's had loads of injury problems, but he looked good when he played in pre-season, not last year, the year before. James McConnell, we obviously know how good he can be through the cup final, and also when he played against, I think it was Norwich in the Carabao Cup, and he got an assist and got man of the match. I mean, Kieran Morrison is now an under-21 international. He's been scoring the under-21s. Looks like a really good player, Irish. We obviously know about Trey. I mean, this guy's probably got a chance of maybe getting some game time. 21 years old, looks like a good player. Went on loan to an Austrian team last year. Did okay. I think they finished 5th. And obviously Tyler Morton, highly rated, had 2 really good loans at Hull and Blackburn. And then obviously Jaden Dan's like played a few games, scored a few goals, like just standard. Trent Alexander-Arnold, highly rated, very one-trick pony though. To be fair, reminds me a bit of Doak, if I'm honest. Needs a bit more composure, needs a bit more end product. This guy's really highly rated. I think he was signed from Mo Salah's old club, Pyramids. He's Egyptian. And then obviously Oakley Cannoner, I think he's had a couple of loans. He's had a really bad injury. So we've obviously kept quite a few of the youth team around to give them a pathway into the under-21s, into the first team. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, he's highly rated as well. Yeah, I think he's international as well now. He's not been added into the academy yet. Neither has Rio. They've not been added in yet. But I think they could be in the under-18s. And I think this is just the academy. Anyway, I'm going to end the show now. Yeah, I think we signed him from the club that Mo came from. I think it was Pyramids or Contractors. I can't remember off the top of my head. I need to look into that. But yeah, he's Egyptian. Right, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I was just doing a quick update. I had a bit of issues with my internet, but we got there in the end. Like I said, if you want to leave a super chat, please do. And I'll be doing another show in the next couple of days, depending on if there's any news or any more updates. You have a wonderful afternoon. And by the way, check out the show I did yesterday with Cal about Mo, Virgil and Trent. It's a really good one we did for about an hour and a half with Cal from Coppish. And look out for more hot topics in the next couple of weeks. You've been watching the KMAC channel. Take care. Goodbye.